All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fans Discussions, considering our Saturday night's main event review series. We are on Saturday night's main event. I think, what are we up to? Eight? I think this is eight.
Yeah, yeah, the November '86.
Yeah.
That's a
All
lot
right.
of them so far.
Yeah, I know. We got a lot more to go.
Well, you're Mike, I'm Frank. Let's just get
Yeah,
to
let's
it.
go.
All right, this one it originally aired was done live on November 15th, 1986. It aired November 29th, 1986, live from Los Angeles, California. 16,000 on hand. This place was pretty packed and sold
Mhm.
out. Los Angeles loves their wrestling. It actually was a pretty decent card for the most part. Fast-paced matches, a couple of feuds that looked pretty good. A couple of title matches. So let's just get right into it. The opening contest was a personal favorite of mine, only because later on in WWE, it was for the Intercontinental Championship. It was the Macho Man Randy Savage against, I guess you would say, a new babyface, Jake the Snake
Yeah,
Roberts.
I
It looked
guess
like it started.
it looked like it just started. Yeah, I don't remember like what was going on at this time, but it definitely wasn't heel versus heel. We know that. So
It started out like that when they
yeah,
did the interviews in the beginning,
yeah. I think it was
right before they came
transitioning.
out. Yeah,
He was
and
transitioning.
the fans were sort of kind of
Yeah.
cheering for him,
Mhm.
still booing for him a little bit. But I mean, this was a grudge match. It looked like two heels in the ring
Yeah.
going at it, not a babyface versus a heel. I mean, they went back and forth, pounding on each other. I mean, and it was a good match to start. And of course, Savage portraying the heel. I love in the beginning, well, when they're showing the skits before it, that Savage is like, "I'm gonna win tonight, don't you think, Elizabeth?" She goes, "Well, of course we don't. You'll jinx it. Polish the belt. You missed the spot." I mean, that's great stuff. Even though he's bullying her, the poor woman, but whatever. He's definitely portrayed the heel, especially with the snake in the corner, constantly running away from it. Um, I mean, this was a good one. Unfortunately, I mean, it ends in a double disqualification. So they both save face as Jake is portraying now the fan favorite role. Savage still being the monstrous heel with the IC title as he heads into 1987. So I mean, for me, it was an okay match. We get better matches down the road between the two of them, but this was definitely good.
No, it was a good match. These guys were good, man. It's ironic about the polishing of the belt because Macho Man is the one that damaged the belt because he was polishing, I think, with brass cleaner. That's why you'll see that in the Continental title, it gets faded at a certain point until they have to do it again with all gold. But and it's kind of sad. Jake was supposed to win the title, I believe, a year later. I believe he was supposed to get the title in '87, if I'm not mistaken. He was supposed to get it before Honky Tonk Man gets it. But Jake was a mess, so they didn't give him the IC belt. So
I mean, they always said Jake was good. That he was the type of wrestler that didn't need a title.
yeah,
But
that's just
anywhere else he worked prior to this, he was always the mid card champion.
yeah.
So I don't understand why he was never pushed for it, other than maybe his
Well, he was a
backstage
mess because he was a
politics.
mess. That's why.
Yeah, if he had his stuff together, I mean, imagine how great he would have been. So our next match featured the WWE Championship. It was Hulk Hogan versus the newly bought by Bobby the Brain Heenan, Hercules Hernandez. And I love the skit that they do on this, where they show Heenan and Slick at the bank.
Yeah,
Neither one of them trust each other. He goes, "Will you take a check?" And Slick's like, "Brother." And then of course, here comes all the money, and I mean, this was just good.
yeah. Slick was great.
And of course, Hogan with the "This is where the power
Yeah,
lies," and
got a good promo.
yeah, and then Ventura was
Yeah,
going all over him on this one.
Ventura was great in this. We'll get it into it during the match.
Yeah, I mean, Ventura, he was irate when Hercules had him up in the torture rack, whatever you want to. I call it that. It doesn't matter. The
They
backbreaker.
call it a
Whatever.
backbreaker. Yeah,
I'm thinking, Lex Luger's on the mind, so they got him in the backbreaker, and Ventura is adamant that Hogan has tapped.
yeah. Hogan quit. Yeah,
Yeah, which obviously he didn't.
he quit. But
I,
heel commentator, he's gonna say that. That was great
oh
stuff. I was
yeah,
laughing.
oh yeah. Ventura always hated
Yeah,
Hogan.
and
Back then, I always wished, I'm like, you know what? I wish Ventura would just get back in the ring one more
yeah,
time and let Hogan just shut his mouth. But
yeah.
then he got better as the years went on.
I like when he
But
said that when he says, "Do you know what Hogan was saying when he said this is where the power lies?" That means that he I know what he meant now. He had the ref in his pocket.
because it was Hebner
Yeah.
that did it, of course, and Hebner always did his matches. And this actually was a good match for Hercules to prove what he could do. Unfortunately, he was never pushed as a singles competitor, but he got the shot here. He went toe to toe with Hogan, which I liked. He had the look, and just unfortunately, he went down the card as the years progress. But
Yeah, Hogan did a good job of putting him over in his promo too, when he was saying how big
yes,
Hercules was and he looks like a god and he's got the power of lightning, whatever he was saying.
yeah, he
They
was
did
doing the
good to
whole
build
Greek
it up.
mythology.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, the match was 6.5 minutes. It was pretty good. Hogan gets the victory with the leg drop. 1, 2, 3. Another one of Heenan's boys are out. Like always. So this wasn't a bad match, and for Hercules, this was to prove what he could do. Just unfortunately, it didn't go anywhere. The next match I actually liked because I liked the feud. It was two former friends. It was Roddy Piper versus Cowboy Bob Orton.
Hmm.
They do the promo where they show the two of them. They were like, "Oh, we were never friends." Orton is sitting at the restaurant with Jimmy Hart and Jesse Ventura, and they're like, "Oh, we were never friends," and stuff. So they do the whole video package of the two of them over the couple of years, and now it's funny because Piper has to deal with not only a returning Adrian Adonis, but now Cowboy Bob Orton, and now for whatever reason, the Magnificent
Yeah,
Morocco.
with the kilt on.
Yeah, which he looked ridiculous. Meanwhile, a little too
Yeah.
buff up there. I don't
Well,
think
they
he
were
could
just
wipe the
trolling.
butt there.
They were trolling Piper. This was good because this is Piper had just turned babyface
Hmm.
here, so he's just adjusting to his new role as a babyface.
And the
He
fans
was over.
were yeah, and they
Yeah.
asked him later on,
Hmm.
you're not used to this,
Yeah.
and he's like, whatever. It didn't. At this point, it wasn't really mattering to him. What was mattering to him was the three individuals he had to deal with. But at ringside, it was Jimmy Hart and Morocco, which I thought was funny considering Morocco's managed by Fuji, but yet he's helping out Jimmy Hart and Orton here. So, and the kilt looked ridiculous. So I gotta say, but it wasn't too long before Morocco got tossed at ringside, which there was no business for him to be there. And of course, Ventura goes, "It's Hebner again."
Yeah.
So I mean, Piper did pretty good against Orton. It wasn't a long match. It was 3 minutes 48 seconds. Uh, the ending was pretty cool. How Jimmy Hart's holding Piper. Orton's gonna hit him. He just misses Jimmy Hart, but Piper rolls him up for the pin. So pretty much for Piper, it's 1 down, 2 to go before he takes his farewell into the sunset for his temporary retirement. He's got his little hit list. Morocco would be next, and then obviously Adrian Adonis to close it out. So I thought this was pretty good for Piper as a fan
Yeah, it
favorite,
was good.
taking out Orton. Bob Orton, not Randy. Next match was I like this match because it was kind of like a reversal here. When I say that, it's like the heel thing that the Killer Bees would do with their mask. It was the Killer Bees versus the Hart Foundation. And now this was the Hart Foundation, now newly at the Pink and Black, because during the year they were doing the blue and black. So they had changed over and they commented on this during the match. This was a pretty good match. They said the winner would be in line for a tag title shot. I mean, obviously the Killer Bees wouldn't get it. It would be the Hart Foundation eventually. But this was a pretty good technical match. Brett showed what he can do in the ring. Anvil showed off his muscles. The Killer Bees showed that they were at the time in Easton '86 that they were one of the top tag teams there. And I like the fact that when they figured that all is lost in this match, they put the masks on. And during this, they did an interview with Mean Gene, and they had the masks on, and they were like, "Okay, B. Brian." He goes, "No, I'm not Brian. He's Brian." And then I'm not Brian. He's Brian. That whole skit. So they put the masks on and they do the little switcheroos that they were doing. And it was an upset, in my opinion, because I really thought the Hart Foundation would have gotten the victory in this. It was actually the Killer Bees that got the pin in this. And
they
that
cheated,
was yeah. Well, like I said, it was a little role reversal. They were pulling the heel.
Yeah.
And the Hearts get the loss here. But, it's nothing detrimental to them because their bigger things are going to come for them.
Yeah, they had some great matches together. Those guys. Killer Bees were
Yeah,
underrated. Brett had
they
a lot of
were.
respect for them too because he actually selected in one of his DVDs that came out. He selected a match that they had together. Not this one, but he selected another match, and he said that that was one of his best matches that he ever had. I think as far as tag team with the Hart Foundation was against the Killer Bees.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they were very underrated and should have gotten more of a look at than what they did. And of course, the Hearts. I mean, every time I watched them, I was never disappointed, especially with
No,
Brett.
no.
I mean, Brett could go technical with anybody. So next match was I guess the debut of Coco Beware, or just he had just gotten into the WWE. It was Coco Beware versus Nikolai Volkov, which I mean, on paper, you look at this and go, "Oh God, Coco's going to get destroyed," which later on he probably would. But in this case, Coco Beware pulls the upset on Nikolai Volkov, who to me I just never cared for. I just didn't think he could wrestle. I mean, he even botched his spinning heel kick, if you call
Yeah,
it that. I mean,
it was.
I thought he was going to fall down.
All right. This is also the era when they had the animals.
Yeah,
That's,
Frankie was at ringside.
yeah.
I mean, Coco looked pretty good. You know, he was in his prime. You know, a lot of people don't realize that he lasted 7 years in the WWE. I mean, I honestly didn't think he would last that long. This was a pretty good match to show off his abilities against him. It was a 2.5 minute
Yeah.
match, almost a squash.
Pretty much.
Volkov gets the loss, and Coco goes on for the victory. And then the main event, another squash, 2 minute 5 second match. It was the Rebel Dick Slater versus the Magnificent Morocco. And by this point, I mean Morocco is just this boy is jacked beyond belief. No wonder why he couldn't go to Survivor Series in
Mhm.
'88. And he just destroyed Slater. I don't even think Slater mounted an offense, but it wasn't much.
No.
And so, I mean, Morocco just destroyed him with his power and got the victory over him. So that was pretty much how the matches went on this Saturday night main event. But they had some good interviews. They did some good stuff in the back that I liked. You know, the Hogan interview. I love that whole "this is where the power lies." I mean, that's like the moniker for that Saturday night main event that you should put over it.
Mhm.
So overall, I mean, it wasn't bad. It just the matches you looked at, like the opening match to me. I wish we would have just gotten a clean victory, but I can understand why they
Yeah.
did what they did.
Yeah. Overall, it was fine. I thought it was
It
decent.
wasn't bad for the era.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. So you guys make sure to like, comment, share, subscribe. Let us know what you think about this episode. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.